Hello, I'm here at St. Augustine's College in the historic chapel of the college with Dr. Frederica Tomsett, who is the president of the Historical Society of the Episcopal Church. Welcome to Raleigh and St. Augustine.
Thank you, and thank you for having us here to celebrate our 100th anniversary as the Historical Society. So I'm getting old here, you know.
No, you're young. Dr. Tomsett and a number of other people, theologians, archivists, historians, have gathered here for the Tri-History Conference, which is being held here. Tell us a little bit about that.
We're looking at the historical precedents of the Millennium Development Goals. We're looking at the issues of poverty, of childhood education, of disease, of globalization. And it's an exciting conference because we're learning that we don't learn very well from our mistakes, but that knowing where we've been helps us get along a little further in terms of the direction we should be traveling. So,
on that subject,
yeah.
Bill Bennett, who's one of the clergy at Good Shepherd Church
Yes.
here, was at the opening dinner the
Yes.
other night, and his comment was looking around the room and seeing the names of the people who are here. He said many of the names of the people who are here are the names on the books that are on my bookshelf.
That's right.
And
That's
you
right.
are among those people.
I am.
You are one of our church's premier historians and theologians. And
Thank you.
I've been reading your books for years.
Yes.
You got a new one out.
I've got a new one out.
What's the name of it? Tell us about it.
Well, it's called Born of Water, Born of Spirit, and for some reason I just happen to have it here.
Surprise,
You know,
surprise.
it's going to find a new owner in a few seconds. But its focus is on supporting the ministry of the baptized in small congregations. We found out in seminary education, where I teach at the Episcopal Divinity School, that not everyone, they may come from a large congregation, but they don't necessarily go back to a large one. So we did a grant with the Lilly Endowment for 8 years and visited lots of people and worked on what the ministry of the baptism has to do with authorizing leadership of those who are ordained and those who are not ordained. So this is designed to be, it's got a wonderful picture of an ancient font on the cover. It's designed to be useful for parishes. It says small, and some of them are small. Some we visited were 8, 9. I mean, that's small. Okay. And many were 50, 120. But the principles here are good for congregations of all sizes. So what we got Alban Publications to do for us was to put graphs and charts and questions and look at what we inherited in terms of our ecclesiology and where we are now when we center it in baptism and the baptismal covenant. Now, you're not going to go all the way with all this, but you're going to get some ideas when you read this. And we ask people to talk about their baptism, whether they remembered it or somebody remembered it. Mm-hmm. And they'll tell us, that's the first time I've ever talked about that in church. And, and they didn't know, but so they went back and asked mothers, godparents, others, look for records. It was fascinating.
So this is a resource that any congregation can get, and their discussion questions, a small group could lead themselves in the discussion.
Absolutely.
And it would pay dividends.
It would. It would. It would help you reflect on your ministry, your work in the world, because this is all about, the service is the worship is ended and the service begins. So this is about moving out into the world, about sharing leadership. So the clergy don't have to do everything, because, honor to you, we're not all good at everything, right? Yeah. Some things I prefer to do, some things you prefer to do, and together, we went out 2 by 2 originally,
That's right? That's right.
That's right. So this is for teams to look at their ministry in the church. And it's both U.S.-based, it's Canadian-based, and it's the Episcopal Church in Scotland, which is a wonderful church. And the question they ask of their small parishes is, because the Episcopal Church in Scotland is not the dominant church, the Kirkis, the Presbyterian churches. So they ask themselves, if you were gone, if your parish was not here, your congregation was not here, would anybody other than your own members miss you? If your congregation was not here, would anybody other than your own members miss you? So that's about who are you working with? Who are you working for? Who do you know? Do they know you? Are you a club on a little island? Or are you there in service of the one who calls us to be in service?
What's the name of this again?
The name of this book?
This book.
Born of Water, Born of Spirit.
And the information on how to get that book is attached with this edition of Please Note. But there's one other thing.
What's that?
We share a common mentor.
We do. We do. Bernard Dozier. Yeah, we were 2 of the 3 preachers. It took 3 preachers.
That's right.
At her memorial service to move this along.
It did.
And she taught me to read Scripture. She taught me to be a better educator. I am a laywoman, and she affirmed my calling as I affirmed her.
And you have helped to keep her writings in print.
I have, yes, reissued her writings and a book called Confronted by God.
Yes.
Verna liked that title.
Yes.
Confronted by God, which has all of her extant writings that we could pull together from manuscripts. And then we republished Dream of God, which is a very great book.
Some years ago, when I first became bishop, we invited the people of this diocese to read the Dream of God as a way of laying the theological and biblical foundation for what we were going to try to do here in the Diocese of North Carolina. Dr. Tom said you're a gem.
Well, you're a gem too, and it's wonderful to discover what you're doing in this diocese and be a part of your generosity and of your service. And I know the MDGs mean a lot to you. And the study of Scripture, and that's, I think, our mentor taught Episcopalians, lay and ordained, to take Scripture seriously.